buddy's son's 16th birthday, so the theme for his birthday party is a car show. So I'm bringing the 911 out and meeting with a couple buddies. So let's head over there now. Let's rewind to about 10 years ago. I sold my Nissan 350Z and was on the hunt for the next project. It pretty much came down to either an NSX or a RX-7 FD. As I was shopping around, I couldn't believe that there was one that was on sale for about $10,000. I wasn't in a rush to buy a new car, so I was trading messages back and forth with the owner. In the end, I actually bought the car for $7,000. So yes, I bought her for $7,000. With that said, I was kind of curious why he would go that low. So I went down to check out the car and test drove it and everything. Brought some of my diagnostic tools and multimeters to test things like the alternator, the battery, check if there's any codes. Everything checked out. I think the only thing that was wrong with the car was that one of the radiator caps was leaking because of the spring. Other than that, the car was running very well. And so I ended up buying the car and driving it home. And as you can see in the pictures, the car is pretty pristine for a 1995 RX-7. The outside paint had a little wear, but other than that, there was no accidents. There was no tear in the interior. There was no oil leaks. The car, the alignment was good. The suspension checked out. I couldn't believe it when I brought it home and the car was in that kind of shape for $7,000. Today, FDs are nowhere near that price range, and they're just keep escalating. When I sold my 350Z, I was actually able to keep some of the parts. So I kept my Pioneer double DIN navigation and DVD head unit. I kept all the SARD oil caps, radiator caps, things like that, the SARD hyper voltage system, my Greddy oil catch can. And one of the first things that I bought for the car was just maintenance things like oil, filter, and coolant. And then I also bought a R1 lip for the front bumper. And then I got some titanium springs, twin intakes from Apex. To keep the theme with the Apex brand, I also got an Apex boost gauge as well as an Apex turbo timer. And then I also got some new wheels. I actually got 3 sets of wheels for this car. So the first ones were Volk SF Challenge. The second one was Volk GTC. And then I ended up with Panasport G7s. And these wheels, I took apart and refinished them. I needed some work. I didn't like the color it was, so I painted it, put it back together, and then put the tires on so that it would fit the specs I was looking for. I was also lucky enough to source some parts from Japan from a family friend that was stationed out there. So I got a hold of an ARC intercooler. I got some of the OEM intake panels. I even got the JDM armrest, as well as back seats, which I never ended up installing. And then after that, I moved on into engine upgrades. So I upgraded my fuel injectors. I got a upgraded fuel pump. I got a aftermarket downpipe. as well as an Apex Power FC standalone ECU. One of my main goals for this project was to get to about 450 horsepower. Unfortunately, my plans changed. Someone offered a significant amount that I just couldn't refuse. So I ended up selling it maybe a year and a half later and moved on to a different project. In the closing of the last episode, one of the things that I wanted to discuss was the equipment that I use for YouTube. What I wanted to do was spend a little bit more time on talking about that, so we're going to shift that to our next episode and I'll give you a little bit more detail on that. Thank you for joining, and we'll see you on the next one.